The renovation of the Sinai Library begins at the central stairwell. Concrete beams above have been transformed into arches with limestone supports. Concrete capitals on top of each column have been replaced with limestone capitals. The banister and floor have also been paved with limestone. The windows at the lower level were closed on the inside, but the frames have been retained on the outside to preserve the exterior of the building largely intact. All of this creates an impressive approach to the library, leading up to the heavy metal doors at the entrance. Roberto Nardi, who was in charge of the conservation of the 6th century apse mosaic in the basilica, created a mosaic of the monastery logo as a sign of his esteem for the monastery. It is also the logo of the St. Catherine Foundation. We have placed it over the entrance, set into a limestone frame. The heavy metal doors open into a narthex with yet another set of doors. A marble inscription that dates from 1939 commemorates the benefactor Theodoros Polychronios Kotsika. The opposite wall will have a new marble inscription commemorating the donors of the present renovation. The second set of doors opens into the new reading room. Custom-made cherrywood tables and chairs with high bookshelves holding the necessary reference books create an inviting space for scholars to study the manuscripts. The room can be air-conditioned in the summer and the floor heated in the winter. There are bright lights in the ceiling. The chairs and tables are carved with the logo of the monastery, which is also the logo of the St. Catherine Foundation. The upper corner of the room contains a church dedicated to the prophets Moses and Aaron. The apse was built into the wall in the 6th century. New marble panels have been added, made in the style of a 6th century templon. Originally, it was a separate chapel reached by a long stairway, the highest point in the monastery. The walls have been painted a different color as an indication that this area of the room is separate with its own history. A dome above is a further indication that this is a chapel. The fresco on the left depicts the prophet Aaron. The frescoes date from the middle of the 15th century. A small hallway lined with bookshelves provides yet another set of doors to help keep out the dust. The hallway leads to the storeroom for the manuscripts and early printed books. A coffered ceiling above creates patterns of light and shadow. A stainless steel balcony runs completely around the room with 2 stairs at opposite corners. The original, strictly utilitarian storeroom has been transformed into one of great beauty. A stretch of the 6th century wall has been incorporated into the room. The cabinets at the lower level of the room have racks designed to support metal boxes. I think that in most libraries, the volumes have been arranged in a sequence to make them easy to retrieve by the librarian. The concerns of conservators for the preservation of the books are a secondary consideration. It is common for a few special items in libraries to be enclosed in boxes for greater protection. Here at Sinai, the library was designed with the concerns of conservators foremost in mind. Categories were established for what manuscripts deserved a special box, based on the manuscript's antiquity, importance, fragility, or binding style. In all, some 2,000 manuscripts will be boxed, over half of the collection. About 200 early printed books also deserve to be enclosed in boxes. The manuscript assessment program sponsored by the St. Catherine Foundation commenced in November 2001 and concluded in February 2006. During that time, 33 teams of 6 or 8 conservators spent 4-week sessions at the monastery, filling out complex forms recording the state of each manuscript. All of this information has now been digitized, allowing for computer access. It was this information that allowed the planning of the library with great precision. A computer program written for this task ranged the books by size for the most efficient use of the space. They are no longer sorted by number. Also, the heavier volumes are in the center of each column so that the librarian does not have to reach for a heavy volume high overhead or from near floor level. The boxes will slide on plastic strips to prevent metal from grating on metal. Adjustable stops will keep each box at its proper depth. 2 stairways lead to the balcony above, all made of stainless steel. Decorative knobs at the base and at the top of the rods provide beautiful decorative details. Custom-made lamps provide overhead lighting, and smaller fixtures illuminate the cabinets below. The coffered ceiling is made of plaster panels and beams with decorative moldings that were made on site. Moldings have also been added to the pillars and beams. These create beautiful patterns of light and shadow. The shelves at the balcony level will be used for early printed books. These shelves have small stainless steel rods to protect the books in case of an earthquake. The rods are easily removed for the retrieval of the books. 2 adjoining rooms at balcony level have compact storage. The new finds are housed in one room and the monastery archives in the other. Manuscripts that do not need boxes are also kept in the archive. As the manuscripts and early printed books are moved into their new quarters, the library building looks more and more like a library. With the arrival of scholars and the implementation of the digital photography program, the building will start to function like a library. Should there be a fire in the library, canisters will release inert gases into the space, reducing the oxygen content and so extinguishing the fire. There are 46 canisters in all. Each one is 2 meters high and weighs 120 kilos. A new stairway has been introduced into the east wing of the building for safety. The 6th century wall, which had been plastered over, has now been revealed. It is a juxtaposition of ancient granite ashlars that has stood for over 1,400 years, with a steel and limestone stairway added just a few months ago. This juxtaposition of old and new is one of the hallmarks of Sinai. We are grateful to the St. Catherine Foundation for their generous support of this extensive and complex renovation. It will ensure the long-term preservation of this unique collection of manuscripts and printed books for many years to come.